Hey everyone, latest episode of the Tail Podcast, and today we are interviewing quite the content creator because me and Lily have both been at her set at Furality Umbra, and today we have FliX. Hi FliX.
Hello, nice to meet you.
You mind giving a little introduction to our viewers and explain who you are, what you do?
Yeah, for sure. My name is FliX. I'm a DJ. Also a music producer, but that's a little bit more on the low side. But I mainly DJ metal, and I have been noticed most likely for my appearances at Furality, Aqua, and Umbra.
How was Aqua? I've heard good things about it. I just never made it. The first one was Umbra for me.
It was great, but it was quite controversial because at the time I was 15 years old, and they had to get me to or they had to get me and my parents to sign waivers that I could I could DJ there because they it's not that people under the age of 18 couldn't DJ there. It was just that it was a lot more rights towards owning content sort of stuff.
Makes
And
sense.
I never really got those signings through. It just kind of happened, but nothing really ever came of it. And a similar thing happened for Umbra as well, but for Umbra it was an 18 plus DJing lineup, but they never really mentioned it anywhere. And I was 17 at the time, so it's kind of similar. They let me through for that as well. But yeah, the Aqua one was great. That was where a lot of people first heard of me. 15,000 to be precise.
Jeez. I could not imagine having those numbers.
I couldn't either if you told me a couple of years ago.
So, you mentioned you do music production, you're a DJ. What made you want to start doing that? What gave you the push to do music and DJing?
Oh my gosh. Everything from forever ago. I've always loved music. Music has been the best thing in the world since I was born.
Agreed.
I've never had a greater interest than music and games. And the true amalgamation which forms both my interests into that is VR chat. Is just DJing in VR chat because I can bring music to such a wide audience through games. And that's why I like it so much. But music officially began for me when I was about 4 or 5, and I joined school and I saw that there was piano lessons happening somewhere, and I was like, I want to learn that. And my piano teacher sucked, and I just sort of took it into my own hands
Oh
to learn
no.
piano myself. Um, then it kind of laid low for a little bit, and then around lockdown, I was like, wow, music is just gorgeous. It's the coolest thing ever, and I just became hyper obsessed with it. So that's when I first properly got into music, got into metal, got into punk, got into all these different genres, which just it was just as much aggression and energy as possible because I like to exert my own energy through that kind of music. And as of recently, it's been a lot more, I don't know, mellow to be precise, but it's not really mellow. It's just I'm trying to stray away a little bit more from metal and understand a lot more music as of recently. But yeah, it's always been music for me. I've always loved it.
That's fair. I've always had a big passion for music. I mean, I have a box sitting next to my desk with, I lost track of it, I think it's 44 CDs in there. All different genres, all
Goodness,
different
I'm not a CD
artists.
collector.
Oh,
I do not have the money to collect CDs. I put it into
these
my VR chat and DJing equipment.
these are CDs I have built up over almost 30 years of life, so
I understand, I understand.
these are CDs I've had some of those 15 years going on.
Goodness. I mean, I still use quite old CDs for when I'm in my parents' cars and whatnot, but I don't drive yet, so I don't really get to use CDs too much, especially since I imagine most CD playing gets put through a car. But yeah.
I mean, here it gets played through my PlayStation 3 because that's the only thing I have in the house that can, but
Cool.
no, I'm a big collector of physical media, especially like music. So,
Of course, of course. I'm not so much, but I prefer digital downloads, but to each their own.
I mean, nothing wrong with digital downloads and you get decent quality off of those too, but there's something satisfying about having the physical media and playing off of that.
Of
Which is
course. I mean,
why I imagine so many people get into vinyl.
Yeah, I mean digital downloads is what like DJs survive off of, so we basically need that anyways for modern day stuff. Even though like DJing through vinyl and CDs is still a thing, it's mainly just through digital files, so yeah.
Um, let's see. So, explain like the design of your character and everything. Like, just give us a rundown of
Oh,
your model, your persona, what it
oh my
means to
goodness,
you.
okay. Wow, because okay, my this is a like really weird question in the sense that like I started ages ago as something that no one will actually know. I was called Flash. I used to be called Flash. This is when I made my persona when I was about 11. And I had it was basically just like this, but just really low contrast. I was a lighter gray. I had a lot less markings. I was kind of like boring, being honest. I didn't really like it from like I turned 13 or so, and I had a 13-year-old crisis of, oh my God, I don't relate to my persona anymore. What do I do? And I then, for about a year, I just didn't know what to do as a persona. So then what I did was I changed my name from Flash temporarily on Discord to FLXSH, basically essentially crossing out my name. But then a lot of people started to call me Flux and because they wouldn't know how to pronounce my name. And I was like, I kind of like that people call me Flix. So Flix eventually went on to become my name. But I came back with the fact that I just love the color green, despite not being able to see it. I just think it looks really cool. And I don't know why, but there's a lot of three stripes on my like avatar all over. Like you have three stripes on
Yeah, I
my
see it
mouth,
on
on
the
my
ears and
ears.
stuff.
If I move, if I quick go to my top settings, you can see that I have it also on my hips, but you can't really see them. You can only see two. But I don't know. I've always just like it's been a very instinctual thing. I made it when I was about 13 or 14 and nothing's really changed since then except for the nose markings. Feet changed a little from like the markings on my legs. But other than that, not really much. But I do love my persona. Flex means a lot to me.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I mean,
That's
Lily
amazing.
means Lily means a lot to me, so she is pretty much my entire identity.
Yeah, of course, same with me. I mean like Flix for quite a while was my IRL name. Like I just went by the name Flix. I did it for college as well.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is for me. Everyone who knows me personally either just calls me Lily or they call me Bun. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's basically become my identity, but I recently found an actual name that suits me better than Flix, which is a name that doesn't really exist, so.
nothing wrong with that. I did
Of
I did
course.
have a question about your name. From following you here and there, seeing occasional posts on Twitter and Blue Sky. I think you're on Blue Sky. Are you? I could
I
be
am,
wrong.
but not very actively. I am on Blue
Alright.
Sky, but not very actively.
Well, I remember seeing that the X being capital is a really important thing to you. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. Okay, so, okay, being real, I'm very precise about this because it just kind it's like a really like weird like ick thing. I don't know. But the X being capital to me is just that like if you spell out flex, you have an F which reaches the upper register, an L which reaches the upper register, an I that does, and it's just a tiny little X on the end. And if you make the X capital, then it just becomes a box and it looks nice. That's another thing. But even so, like I have always just loved the letter X so much. I don't know why. Like, I've always had this obsession with just this big old cross because it looks really angry. It just looks aggressive. It looks really. I don't know. There's no really other letter that's like X in a way that it's just pointy. It looks
Well,
like a cross. It looks like it's really stabby and sharp. And I've always liked that. And that's
No,
not
that
even
that
just
makes
because
sense.
of like my tendencies to like metal.
yeah, that makes sense.
It's literally just because I just like the X. I just think it looks cool.
I,
And I don't know, it means a lot to me in a sense where it's either you spell my name in all capitals, you spell it with no capitals, or you spell it with appropriate capitals. If you can make the F capital, you can make the X
make the X
capital.
capital. Yep.
But a lot of people kind of overlook that, which is a little annoying, but I don't really care.
I
It's
mean,
kind of
So
stopped bugging me a lot less.
I kind of understand
it's
people.
purely for Radix then.
Yeah. kind of
Yeah,
understand
sort
people
of.
not really capitaling the X because it comes at the end of the name, and normally you don't capitalize that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've always just liked it that way. I think it's a cool little artsy design. I saw that not a lot of other people did it, and I was like, I'm gonna be real. Another thing that actually happened with my persona is I was like, oh, do I have heterochromia, which is like when one eye is a different color to the other? And I was like, everyone else has that. I want to be unique. Let's not do that. So it's kind of like that, but I never really saw anyone with like capital letters in like weird areas of their name. But I've always just liked it like that. I don't know.
I mean, makes sense.
Of course.
And it is your name. Whatever spelling way your name makes you happy, that's what matters.
It is. It is indeed.
Hi. So, you don't. I've seen you stream here and there. I know you don't really do a lot of live stream content. Um, how does streaming feel? Like, is it something you enjoy doing, or do you find it like a little bit mentally taxing? Because I know some people struggle with streaming.
I don't find it that difficult to stream because most of my stuff is actually done through VRCDN and then it's just handled from VRCDN to like do all my Twitch stuff. So I'm like, hi, I'm going live VRCDN, can you do all my Twitch stuff? And they're like, yeah. It's a pain in the ass to like actually stream from Twitch. I don't really do it that much, but I don't know. I used to actually, from like the age of 11 and 12, I would stream on Twitch doing like stupid Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. Played Minecraft, CSGO, stuff like that when it was CSGO. And I don't know. It's never really been something that I've really cared about too much. I just wanted a way to just send my DJ sets out. And thankfully, as of recently, Twitch has allowed DJing to be broadcasted as an official category.
Yeah.
And now I don't have to put into my category VR chat anymore when it's not VR chat, it's just DJing. And I happen to be in VR chat.
Oh, makes sense. I know talking to a friend of mine who is just starting to get into DJing in VR, I know there's some interesting setup that goes behind it. Can you give a little explanation about how it all works out, how you're able to DJ in virtual reality?
It's not that difficult. Little thing for people who don't really know a lot about like VR chat DJing is like a lot of the stuff we do is pre-recorded. So a lot of it is like we'll record a set, we'll play it live, but that's usually only at like official club events. But what I tend to do a lot more as of recently, especially, is I DJ live for pop-up events, usually with my friends over at Sonet, shout out Sonet, and Zarp, Wolf Magic, all the homies, but I DJ with all those guys, and we have to do it there, then and there on the spot. But my personal setup is I have a Pioneer controller, which then allows me to go to Record Box, which is my DJing software. So if we're going to be precise, I have an FLX4, which runs into Record Box. And then I have my OBS capturing an audio application capture to my Record Box. So then it picks up nothing but just that application. And then I pull out my VR chat camera, I put it somewhere, and I go.
I know, like I've seen some of Value Factory's sets where he does live. I know he's got a setup where he's got like half pass through, so he can see his decks and everything.
Yeah, they do that. Mine is on my forehead, so I DJ like this, with it on my forehead, and I put my controllers around my wrist, which is a pain in the ass. They have pass-through because they have a Pro, and they also have the eye tracking thing, which is pretty cool, but I can't do that because the the Index camera isn't really that good for depth perception, where the Oculus Pro is perfect for depth perception. So I can't really do that. So I just DJ it with up here, and I just look down, and then when I'm like, are people feeling it? People like it, and I put it back up, and I carry on going.
I think
that is so
It's a
silly.
pain, but there's no other way, really. I could do it through my Steam overlay, but then, like, if I stay in it for too long, like, my avatar starts to crumple, and it'll look really funny on stream, so...
Yeah. I think, my friend I was talking about, I think that's how he wound up doing it. He just has the headset sitting on top of, like, a baseball cap or something.
Yeah, that's what, it's either... I can't remember remember who does it, but it's either Razor, my homie Razor, who's DJ Kaiju. They trap stuff like Furality. They don't really do that much anymore because they haven't made the lineup in a little bit. But like my friend, it's either Kaiju or it's FliX, who is another Furality DJ. I know that they use like a hack usually. Actually, it
No,
could be
this
Kale.
is,
I can't remember. There's quite a couple. There's quite a couple people who use the hat for it, but I just balance it on my forehead.
This is actually Shivoxy. He's just getting in the VR chat DJing. He's more known for Minecraft stuff.
I've never heard of them. I'll have to check them out, of course. But yeah, a lot of us just like keep it up on our foreheads. It's the way that I've done it. It's the way that I've only ever known. But as of recently, I wanted to reach out to my friend Zop and ask, like, "Hey, can you help me?" Oh, Zop is adjacent silhouette. Like, can you help me with like how you DJ in VR? Because they'll be staring down when they're DJing. And I'm like, how do you do that? How do you stare down? Because for me, the furthest I can stare down is like this, and Zop is looking like this at all times. It's like, how are you doing that?
Because your
So
head
I kind of want to figure out their secrets.
Your head position's based on where your headset is, and if you have your headset aiming up, you're going to look up.
Yeah. Put my headset on and go.
Kinda go
Yeah,
with
a
the
lot of my
flow.
live stuff isn't even serious. Like, a lot of my stuff is just like, I'll play the most silly stuff I can find. Because one of my most prominent genres to DJ is Brazilian funk. And a lot of people have, like, serious Brazilian funk stuff. Like, for example, Sanfear. Sanfear is an amazing Brazilian funk DJ. But, like, it's such a silly genre at its fundamentals. Because the bass no longer begins to sound like bass, and the snares no longer begin to sound like snares. And that's all that the genre is based on, is just the kick and snare. So people can be like, oh, how do we make this kick sound? We'll make it sound like a microwave. And how are we going to make these snares sound? Oh, they're going to be trumpets. And I just think it's so funny that every time there's a drop that rolls around, people will just start laughing. And that's my sort of thing, because I like to make people laugh.
Sometimes that's the best thing, is just not having a plan where you go in and just be silly. So,
Of course.
So...
Because
Go ahead, Lem.
I know that's like something. I know that's something you did with the Umbra Furality set you did, was you're kind of just like not serious.
Well, it was that like
that intro was very much silly.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, like, a lot of people who DJ metal want to take it so serious, and the only part of the set that I'm serious when it comes to metal is my message at the end of, like, some of my more important sets. And I don't really leave much of, like, area for silliness in other genres, or not other genres, in other sections of the genre, because, being completely honest, I don't think it's very easy to be serious about metal, especially for me. Because metal has gotten to a point now where we all just are like, okay, how can we make this the stupidly most heavy thing we can listen to? And a lot of it'll be like, oh, we're going to slow it down to like 40 BPM. The tuning is in like whatever the hell we decide it's going to be in. And there's like vocals that don't stop screaming for like a minute and a half. Like you have to hold that scream for like 90 seconds or something. I don't think it's very... I don't know, reasonable to be serious about this genre, because it's stupid. I love metal so much, but it is such an unserious genre. There's a lot of serious music in it, but being honest, a lot of, like, metal bands, when it comes to making their music, is like, how do we just make this the heaviest? It's in a similar sense that dubstep is. And I love dubstep, but you can't really look at metal as a serious thing. That's why I did that intro, is because I wanted people to be like, I'm not serious about this. No one should be serious about this. Just have fun to my set.
I don't know, I think when it comes to metal, I listen to more of like kind of the serious sister genre to it, which is power metal. Because there is a lot that goes into power metal. I've
I
seen
hate
some of the
power metal. That's the only genre of metal I cannot stand. That's why you've never seen me DJ. I think I have one power metal song in one set that I've ever DJ'd, and it's for like Placeholder Club. I played like Sabaton or something, and I just do not like power metal because it's all about like dragons and fighting in war, and there's this singing part, and there's this epic guitar solo. I cannot. I literally cannot stand it.
think a third of those
Oh my
CDs are either
gosh.
symphonic gothic power metal or just power metal.
Symphonic metal's cool, but it's like power is just not it for me because it's like dragons riding on horses, musketeers and stuff. That's my like for the whole thing. It's like
Sounds like a
they're
wild
silly,
trip.
and then there's like you're being serious about fairy tales. And there's nothing
That's
against the
valid.
people who listen to it. I just don't like it in the slightest, and that's why I don't DJ it.
perfectly fine. I like power metal. I like how it makes me feel. I like how it sounds, and I like a lot of bands that are doing power metal have been doing power metal for a long time. They use their music to tell a story. Like they'll build entire universes based around their music. Like Glory Hammer is a fantastic example. Every single one of their songs is based on a universe that they made up for that band. I think that's cool.
That's interesting. I'm glad that you like it, and I'm glad that it makes you feel that way. It's just a shame that you'll never hear me DJ it.
Hey, it's fine. Like I said,
Of
your
course.
set at Furality was most definitely my favorite set.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Like that was a
Yeah, I
very
know,
powerful. That was a very moving set, especially your message at the end and everything.
And I stand by it. I still stand by it.
But yeah, I feel like even me, who is not that much into metal and all that kind of stuff, was pretty much a ticket to get in Furality just for that set. Yeah, price was justified.
Yeah,
Because that was. I woke up. It was for the after show, I think they called it.
Yeah, when they reran
And
every
I
set.
woke up at like. Yeah, I woke up at like 5 or 6 in the morning because I was not able to get at like 3 a.m. for the first one, and I was just there with Lilly, and I was like, I was not expecting what the set was about. Like I had no clue about the intro, about anything, and I saw the intro. I was like, okay, this is just dragging on for a bit. And then there's the weird mosquito from the desert. I was like, okay, this is rather silly. And then you just start running, like, my set, quick! And I'm like, okay, I get it. This is not gonna be a very serious set. And this was like honestly, just go on the, I think on the Furality Discord, they have a link to every set, and just go there, listen to it, because it is such a banger. Like even someone who basically does not listen to metal, I was just blown away, like Lilly.
I think
I'm
I've
glad you
listened.
liked it. I mean,
I've
there's
listened to your
no
set,
official Furality re-upload, but whoever is working at Furality is the camera's there. Upload my set. Upload all of our sets. Where are they? I want them so bad. But like, yeah, you can find mine on like Mixcloud, but that's like the only place where it is. And it's such a shame that Furality hasn't uploaded all the stuff that they said they would, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've listened to your set on Mixcloud like 8 times now. So
A lot of people have listened to my set, which I'm very appreciative. I'm not too sure how many listens it's on, but it is on quite a few. Not long ago, my Aqua set reached 100,000. Wait, not 100,000. Jesus Christ, 1,000 listens, which I thought was pretty cool. 100,000 listens. Jesus Christ, it reached like 1,000 listens, and I thought that was pretty cool. But like, yeah, my Aqua set was a completely different approach in the sense that for Aqua, I was like a 15-year-old who wanted to make a difference in the world. I was like, I want to be special, and freaking being real, no chance. So I was like, I just wanted to make a set that like everybody, no matter what genre like you listen to, could like listen to the set and have something they like about it. Like all the hardcore kids loved when I played, for example, Varial's Colder Brother, love that track. All the like hard style and like raw style people heard the occasional like electronical stuff that I had, doing stuff like that. All the deathcore kids heard Lorna Shore at the end, of course. That was one of the biggest songs of the year. But yeah, I just wanted to do something for everyone, but then I realized at Akbar, I was like, oh, like everybody, no matter what genre I play, will go insane anyways. I'm gonna do like next set that I do for Furality, like just the most stupid, crazy, insane stuff I could find. So I started it with like the most insane metal song I've ever listened to, and it's Vultiata. I love Vultiata. They're from Sweden, and they're really loud, unpredictable, scary, fast, genre fluid, insane metal, and I love them. And then I moved to like more aggressive, power violency stuff, and moving away from it onwards into that set was really difficult. Like that set was 2.5 weeks every single day from 11 a.m. until 2 a.m. that night, spending 1 hour with my friends and going to bed. It's 2.5 weeks straight of that because I was on break for college. And it was so difficult. I loved the end product, but genuinely, I finished that set and I stopped listening to anything heavy. Full stop. I stopped listening to it. Because I couldn't. Every time I listened to it, I'd get flashbacks of Furality stuff. Like, then it would come to recording my hologram where I'm dancing about on stage, and I would listen to that. I would, like, get on, be like, I don't care what song comes on, I'm just gonna dance, and I'm just gonna have fun and impromptu stuff and try and remember my voice lines. But being honest, I just don't care what it goes like, so I'm not doing a second run of this. I cannot stand, for the life of me, this set. And then it was only until Furality that came around where I was like, oh, this set's cool. I liked my set. It's just I got so sick of it. That's the thing.
Understandable.
That's
no.
fair.
I've been there. I have been there where I've been sitting on. I do a lot of VTubing stuff for Twitch and everything. I've been sitting there where I've been like,
yeah,
I know this works. I've seen people do it. I know this should work. And just the wheel in my head is spinning and nothing's actually happening. And I'm like, nope, I need to get up and just not look at this for a while.
It's what we as creators experience all the time. It's important, but one of the most important things I've ever learned from university, which I'm now going to because I'm actually old enough, is taking breaks is really important. And I don't know, it's just like a really important thing to me especially is to just get myself away from my project and music and just like open up Steam and talk to my friends and go play TF2 or something stupid where I can just be like, oh, this game is not serious in the slightest. I can't get angry at it. Let's just have some fun. And that's another thing that VR chat does. I've never really left VR chat more sad than I have happy. Like I've always left more happy. And that's something that VR chat has always brought to me.
That's understandable. Because I feel the same way. I use VR chat really as like I'm over in France, I'm over in the US. I've never met them face to face. I get to spend time and like actually have a face to Lemmy. It helps like just sit and chill.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so, I mean, like, is even in a similar way where it's like talking, for example, face to face like this creates a so much more important connection that I feel like people who don't really understand or who haven't really experienced it will never properly understand until they do. Like I was having this conversation with some of my IRL friends last week and they're like, oh, the VR chat thing's so freaky, oh, are there actual people who do this, do that, do this? I was like, the only real like proper huge issue that is a VR chat stereotype that actually exists is that there's a lot of alcoholism. And it sucks that that's the way that it kind of is in VR chat, but the only takeaway from VR chat that there is of like negative community is that like you'll have like the occasional visitor troll who will be around for like 2 or 3 hours of constant Steam gameplay and never touch the game again.
Yeah. They'll come in,
but other
troll.
Than that, it's literally like it's so different to get feet like this and get arms like this and a hip like this. Like it's so important to, I guess, create like actual full body connections with people. Even if you don't have full body, just seeing them have some sort of resemblance of hips and feet creates a much more human connection than it does just seeing a little green circle light up when they talk in Discord.
I mean, there's also for people like us who are gender non-conforming, who are trans and stuff, it really helps us too, because then we can go and create like an idealized form or what we see ourselves as in a virtual reality.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was another thing that I've never really been truly confident in, is my identity and is who I am as a person. Like, ever since I was, like, 4, I was, like, constantly, like, wearing my, like, older sister's clothes. And it's, like, it's such a stereotypical thing because everybody says it, but yeah, I'd literally be, like, wearing my mum's and my older sister's clothing. Because I was, like, it feels more natural or more appropriate for me as a person who doesn't even properly understand gender yet, just to identify closer with this. And I remember, like, I'd been gender questioning for, like, quite a while. And then when I finally started playing VR chat with people, I was like, oh, this is interesting. How about I get VR and start, like, actually getting more into VR chat? And this is when, like, Vibe Night was just beginning. I was there with a couple of the founders, just chilling about, having fun. And I was like, screw it, let's truly get into VR chat. Vibe Night is truly something that's going now. Let's get some VR chat. Like, let's get some VR stuff. And I, maybe about 4 months into VR chat, I was like, yep, cool. I'm certain. Like, it was a real, like, decider for me, and it helped a lot. I thought it was really important, even though I used to only really use, like, this old protogen that my friend made me. It was something that really helped me personally.
I mean, yeah. I started out as a Nanachi, funnily enough.
Oh, the Nanachi.
I started out as a Rantis
Little
Rankichi
tiny
V2.
things.
Yep. I'm actually in the
Yep.
process of remaking one now, so
Oh, you should. It's like a good little heirloom, kinda.
I mean, I'll show it when we're done, but I do have one that's mostly done. I just need outfits and stuff for.
Yeah,
By
get
the
him,
time
get him.
this is going up, people will probably have already seen it.
Yeah.
We do have
Of
Hopefully-
quite
course,
the
of course.
backlog of
Yeah.
videos to edit.
Hopefully by
I've
the
never
time
seen
this
it
one goes up,
personally.
I'll have the Nanachi and everything set up and ready. So
Yeah, of course.
this next question, I'm gonna tweak it a little bit because you are not a content creator in the standard sense. What advice would you give someone who's looking into getting into music, getting into music production, getting into DJing?
Well, I would consider myself a content creator, but in a very loose term way. I'm not a content creator in the sense where it's like what everybody knows as a content creator. Yeah, YouTube, Twitch,
Yeah, that's what I
mixcloud,
meant.
stuff where
That's
it's
what
like
I meant
live
by
stuff. Yeah.
not a content creator in the traditional sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've uploaded quite a couple of my sets to YouTube, and they have been quite YouTube directed. 'Cause I've done entire visuals for them. If you like want to check them out, it's like just my name, and it says ZopCon because it's for my friend Zop's birthday. But like, a lot of people compared my stuff to like Value Factory's production, because not like as the same quality scale. It was just kind of like a similar thing where it's like me in a bunch of different locations, dancing to my music, lip syncing, stuff like that. But like, I consider myself, as much as I'm not like a content creator in the sense of YouTube and Twitch, I still create like music, which is technically content, and DJ sets, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I would give the advice of just genuinely trying out everything, literally do everything, because the amount of people who like start YouTube and then stop because they realize it's not their thing is absolutely abnormally big. And another thing that's really important is that finding that you don't want to do something is completely okay. Like, if you don't want to do YouTube, you thought you wanted to do YouTube, and then you don't, it's fine. Who gives? Like, literally no one will care if you stop, in a sense where it's like, if it's not making you happy, it's making no one happy.
Yeah, and as someone who live streams and everything, I can say that your audience gets to know you, and they can tell when you're not doing well and you're not enjoying what you're doing.
100%. That's shone through my DJ sets. Is that I've had a lot of sets where I've completely experienced burnout, and my transitions suck, and my energy on stage sucks, my call out, my pick holes suck, everything sucks. And genuinely, you catch a very reoccurring fan base where it's a lot of people will come to your sets quite consistently. Like, I have quite a couple of people who have never really missed my sets for the past Jesus Christ, I've been DJing 4 years now. For about 4 years. But yeah,
Wow.
it is really crazy to think that there's a lot of people who get into YouTube and then realize that it's not their thing, but carry on doing it. Like, you just need to stop. I'm not saying, like, if you're making content, stop it. But, like,
Yeah.
if you... if you're doing YouTube videos and starting to stream and starting to do short form stuff on Twitter, TikTok, whatever, if it's not your thing, don't be scared to just say goodbye to it. Do not be scared. Like, I experienced that a lot with a lot of stuff I've done. Like, this isn't really on a similar level, but I really tried to get into, like, the Rubik's community. Like, I love Rubik's Cubes. I think they're awesome. Because, like, it's such a crazy thing that this tiny little, like, 3x3x3 box has, like, over half a billion different, like, combinations. I was like, that's so cool. That's so satisfying. But I tried to get into it. I just didn't enjoy it. And I tried to clasp onto it, but nothing in my brain was working in a similar sense that nothing was computing between my hands moving the piece on the Rubik's Cube and my brain. And I tried my hardest for about a year, and I finally realized, oh, it's not for me. And as soon as I stopped that, I started looking more into music. I started looking more into stuff else that, like, I thought would benefit me better. And there's been nothing that's truly helped me like that has. Is just constantly going at it with a really fighting attitude and wanting to constantly find something that satisfies me. And music has always sort of been a thing that I've loved, but it was like actually truly taking the step to be a lot more serious about music took after, like, when I was 11 to 13, like, YouTube streaming, freaking tried to do like a Rocket League team at one point. That was fun. Loved it while it lasted. Didn't work out. But, like, there's so much stuff that I have tried, realized it isn't for me, and then I've moved on from. Because I've just realized it isn't for me, and that's okay. Some stuff is literally just not for you.
I mean, that's the important thing, is you're able to make that distinction. You're able to go, okay,
yeah, I mean, of course.
This is something I was interested in. I have tried it. This is not something I can do. Let me try something else. I have seen too many times where people get stuck on a thing and they're like, I hate this, but I have to keep doing it. It's like, you absolutely don't have to keep doing it. You're doing more
100%.
harm to yourself doing it.
It's the exact same of DJing, I promise you. And it sounds so hypocritical of a DJ to say this, but, like, it's the exact same situation of, like, if you want to DJ, you try DJing and you don't like it, stop. Because for me, it took like 3 or 4 times to get into DJing. And it was like all spaced out amongst like a 1.5 year periods or a 1.5 year gaps where I'd do like a month of trying it and never liked it. And then this one time it just stuck. And now I'm DJing forever. But one of the most common things is literally just people asking me how to DJ or asking how to start DJing. And truly, you can try it, but the amount of people who have really forced themselves to DJ and try to learn it and just hate it just because they feel like they have an obligation to sucks. Because a lot of people feel like as soon as they have their first club lineup, oh shoot, gotta be a DJ forever now.
No.
Like one of my friends, Inverse, he used to be a drummer for a band that I was in. Inverse did one psytrance set that was 10 minutes for Free Fire Friday, which is something connected with Doghouse Rave Night, which is another club. But they did one 10-minute psytrance set and they never DJ'd again. They're just like an IRL friend, but they're just like, screw it, I want to try like a 10-minute set. They did it. They're like, hell yeah, I love DJing, but I don't want to keep doing it right now. Yeah. And I was like, don't do it. And I was like, cool. And,
yeah,
and it's a really good attitude to have.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. I've been there with my own content. I know multiple creators who've been there with their own content where it's like, I did a thing, I like how it came out, but I don't want to keep doing this. And it's like, don't.
Of course. Yeah, you need genuinely know when to cut the line. That's it.
Yeah, don't be afraid to look elsewhere even if it's not something forever you're doing.
Of course.
Okay. Where are we? Okay. So we're getting kind of close to the end of this. Where can we find you? Where can we find you? Where can our viewers find you? What are your links? Do you have a
God, you
schedule?
can find me everywhere.
Do you have like any consistent times you're putting up content, anything like that? Is it just kind of random?
It is very spontaneous. I have a lot of very unscheduled stuff in the sense that I just love pop-up stuff where it's like I will usually announce a show. If it's on a lineup, I'll announce the show as soon as the lineup comes out. Like I promise you, I will stay up. If it'll be like 3 or 4 a.m. and it'll be like, oh, post goes up in 30 minutes, and I'll be waiting until those 30 minutes. As soon as it comes out, boom, write it, because my freaking posts get quite a couple likes when it comes to that sort of stuff, and a lot of people say that they found that through they found my set through that tweet, and it's really good for my marketing is doing certain stuff like that. But a lot of my stuff is very spontaneous. I'll maybe be like, hey, I'm DJing in 1 hour, get on VR chat, and it's either people get on VR chat or they don't. Even so, it's been like, hi, I've just been told that this event has like open decks. I'm on in like 15 minutes. I'm setting up as I'm like tweeting this. Can you guys like get on VR chat real quick? And usually it won't really work that much, but even so, I just like the like energy of just going fast and into it. And usually you'll find those posts on my Twitter, which is FliXdog, FLIXDOG. I am going through a lot of different names right now. You'll probably find me somewhere through FliXdog, which is just my furry stuff. I will probably be making like some IRL stuff because I want to go IRL and start making real music under FliX Music or FliX_XVX because it's just always been my handle. It's also an allude to how I'm straight edge and I'm sober. So you'll find that on Instagram, though it's not very content in the slightest. It's all a lot about my like IRL DJing. But that Blue Sky and check me out on YouTube, FliXdog. I've mainly it's like I have my mixcloud for all my metal stuff, and then my YouTube is like all my non-metal stuff. So like for example, Daria Core, hyperpop, that kind of stuff. I love hyperpop.
I don't think I've ever heard that genre. I'm gonna be honest.
Have you not? It's the best. Okay, one more shout out. Shout out Alex, ALEXX, really awesome hyperpop DJ. Furality, they're one of the DJs at Furality this year. They're gonna be freaking crushing. Check out Furality and Wolf Magic, one of the old hyperpop DJs for Furality, who's a long-time homie of me. Shout out Wolf Magic. But yeah, hyperpop's great. I tend to DJ a lot of that stuff on my YouTube.
I'm gonna be honest, half the genres that were played at Furality, listening to those sets was my first time hearing that genre, so...
Oh, totally. It's a lot of people's first time. It's really good. That's why Furality is so great for its club stuff, because it gets every genre you can think of.
I tend to stick
Minus
to... I tend to stick to, like, a lot of punk rock or emo rock or, like I said, power metal earlier. Tends to be,
yeah,
like,
of course.
the area of music I'm very comfy in.
Yeah, that's understandable. But yeah, you can find me at all those places. I don't know if there's anything more, but yeah. Just like, oh, and also another thing, if you see my Twitter, listen to what I say. I don't want to up myself too much, but I shout out a lot of my friends usually, and my friends are doing cool stuff. And if I don't shout them out, then it's because they're not doing cool stuff. So if I do shout them out, it's because they're doing really cool stuff. So make sure to follow all my friends as well.
And as per usual, like every episode, I'll make sure all of FliX's links are down below, as well as mine and Lemmy's. So please, if you like this, check them out. Anything you want to ask in Lem before we wrap this up?
Do you have any closing thoughts? Any question you want to ask us, maybe? Anything you want to
not
add?
particularly stuff I want to ask, but I would like to say death before detransition, trans rights forever. I don't know. All cops are bastards. I don't know. Just anything left wing that's one of those stupid sayings. That. And she, her forever.
I can stand by that message. I can definitely stand by that message. Alright, guys. This has been the Ears and Tail Podcast with FliX as a guest star. If you've
Thank you very
enjoyed
much.
this, please consider dropping a sub. And like I said, check out the links below. Go give FliX some love. Go check out me and Lemmy on other platforms. It's been Lilly and Lemmy. Take care. Be safe out there. And bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.